Look at him with Deborah Cox. Was this in Brazil or in Canada you did this?
No, there was in Miami, Fort Lauderdale.
Okay.
I was in Fort Lauderdale. We were recording a song, and I was telling her how I wanted her to sing this way, that way. And she's a fantastic singer, very professional. Yeah, Deborah. I will never forget that session. She was amazing. She is one of the biggest we had.
Was that when she was signed to J Records? Or was that after? And what year would you say that was? Do you remember?
I was doing a track, Girl from Ipanema, with her. She asked me to produce that for her, so I went to America for that.
Oh, wow. Okay. Excellent.
She wanted to have a Brazilian producing Girl from Ipanema. I said, all right, I'm coming.
I'm on my way. I'm leaving now.
Yeah, I'm leaving now in 2 days. That's it.
So when you walk into a session like that, not ever dealing with Deborah Cox, what are you expecting, as a producer? What's the expectation inside? Because, for example, like me, I'd be a little bit like, you get the butterflies because you're working with a fantastic artist.
She is way more fantastic than I thought. She's a star. She is nice, friendly. She listens to you. She gives ideas. She is like, it's a fantastic happening. I wasn't expecting anything. I was just, let's see what happens.
Right.
She's great. And you have to be confident in your thing. Come on, you're gonna record with Deborah Cox. You better be
prepared. You better be ready to go in there with your plan in place, right?
You can't be a stupid in front of her. You have to be prepared. You have to be, yeah, sure, of course, right?
100%. 100%.
That's it.
I mean, there's no other way to play it. You have to go in there with a plan.
Yeah.
Sometimes, even with the best, the plan fails.
It happens.
And not all the time, but it does fail. What do you do? What do you do? How do you handle it?
You got to have experience to find a way to fix it. If you don't, you're dead. Because the producer is the organizer of a session. He has to be responsible for everything that is happening there. You have to have an answer for everything. Not just an answer, the right answer to fix it.
Wait. I just got laughing because you said not a answer. That means you got to have the right answer because everybody's going like this.
Answer.
The engineer and everybody's doing this.
Yeah, exactly.
And they're going...
that's what they do.
Yeah, watch what I'm doing, guys.
You got to have to know what you're doing.
So now...
You have to know your business, right?
And you come from an era like myself where you've had different people around you that did great work. And now that's changed somewhat to more of the quotations bedroom DJ producer who wears all the hats through the whole session, including mastering. How do you, who was used to working at these recording studios and these type of budgets, make the move to assimilate to this new way of working, because we've all had to kind of deal with it in different ways?
The thing is, if you have a good experience, a long time doing this, you're going to find a way to jump to the other century, the other side, If you don't have experience, you're dead. Experience, time, it's the word. Time. Time is everything. Everything. The time that I'm going to get home to make the True House Stories with you, the time that we're going to stay here talking, the time I have to think about the next answer, the time I have to fix the problem in the studio. Time is everything. If you have no experience, don't try it.
I'm
Don't.
laughing when you said, please, please don't try it. Don't try it.
You're going to spend a lot of money, maybe other people's money, but don't try it. If you don't have experience, say no.
Be smart. Use other people's money and experience off their time.
Unless you feel confident and you feel you can do it. So give it a try. But if you don't do it.
Remember, there's been a lot of great producer, remixers, and DJs over the years that have said, I can do it, I can do it. They didn't know what they were doing. Okay?
Yeah, exactly.
And they just jumped in there, and the engineer basically ran the session, and he was good.
One thing is somebody called you from Sony Music. Listen, I have a Mariah Carey song. I want you to remix it. And then you have the parts, and you go for your place. You stay at home. Nobody around you, and you do yourself. You make your own mistakes. Nobody knows it. But you deliver the song. You deliver. But if you are in the studio with musicians, the singer, engineers, and you don't know what to do, run away.
Run fast.
Run away.
Run in and go away.
Exactly. Better hurry, don't wait now.
Yeah, better hurry.
Exactly.
Because they're coming with their guns blazing now.
This is working in the studio is not a joke. Costs money.
Oh.
And it's not your money. And you have to think about the others. You have to know what you're doing,
You're right.
That's a job.
You're right.
Not a joke.
I know that. And you have to be disciplined. That's the thing when you work for yourself. Discipline is a big piece of it, right? Discipline.
I don't have a problem with that because I'm Jewish. I have discipline. Jews have discipline. We know what to do. Usually, Sorry.
It's true. No, tell us. Because Latin people and have a different way of perspective of looking and doing things. They're very relaxed.
Yeah.
Very relaxed. Everything is tranquilo. Everything is, we'll get there when we get there. Do you follow that? Or you say, no, we need to?
No. When I get to the studio, I have everything on paper. Right. We're going to do this. Then we're going to do that. Then we're going to do that. Okay. Maybe something went wrong. I know how to fix it. That's it. Experience, time. We just talk about that. That's it.
Experience and time. And the more you do it, the better you get.
Of course. You get the young people. Okay, young people is fine. I was young when I started to do that. I was 20 years old. When I made my first remix, I was 20 years old. Everything was right. But I didn't know what I was doing. If I had any problem, I didn't know how to fix it.
Mm-hmm.
So experience is good. The more you do, the better you get.
That is true. That is true.
Right?
No, you're right. You're right. The thing that I wonder about, we talk about the way dance music progresses.
Okay.
And the order of you remember, because I know you remember this as well.
I love your camera, man.
Thank you.
My camera sucks.
Back to the days of, and I'm going to bring his picture because I just saw him, and we all idolized him, and I know him as well. I see, we talk about the first remixers from
the guy who created the remix.
Correct.
Yep.
Tom Moulton. Okay.
Tom Moulton.
And here's a funny one. Tom never being a DJ.
Yeah.
Physically being a DJ, but a great music selector.
He's a music lover.
Music lover, selector.
He's a good ear.
Oh, yeah. Also wrote in columns for major magazines and wound up getting and even model, people know.
Yeah, right.
He was a model.
He was a model. He was a model.
Yes.
Exactly.
And here is the guy that creates the structure of what is to come. And of course, not too far after that, you have guys like Tom Savarese, other big disco DJs, and the reason why, and Larry Levan, and you know, Jim Burgess,
Bobby DJ Gutagaro,
Bobby DJ, right?
A lot of people,
and we see those names on the records, and I know you saw them as well.
Yeah, of course.
Does that begin to resonate in your mind that at that time, how do I get there? Or is this just something that you're saying,
I never thought I would be making a remix. Never thought. It was like utopia, you know? How do you say that? Utopia?
You got that right. You said it correct. Utopia.
It was a utopia, you know? People make remixes and I play the remixes. I would never make a remix because this is so far away from me. But in 1982, the first commercial remix in the world was released in 1976. It was 10% by Walter Gibbons. It was the first commercial remix, 10% by Walter Gibbons on South Soul Records. 7 years after that, we started to make remixes in Brazil.
Okay. Oh, Brazil wasn't making remixes yet?
Nope.
Okay.
Only in 1982, 83. Like 7, 8 years after that. And then 3 years after that,
85.
I started to make remixes in Brazil too. There was 2 or 3 guys only making remixes. Then I was the 4th. So it was that time. And I never thought I was making remixes. But the thing is, this is the turnover. When I start to work in radio stations, and I met the people from the record companies. And I said, give me a shot. Let me make a remix of that for you. That I was working in a radio station. Exactly. This was 92 probably.
Yeah, but we're just showing the picture of you working in the radio station.
Sure. Exactly. I was making remix at that time anyway.
Yeah.
So I used to have a radio show. It was very popular in Brazil because it was broadcast for the whole country, you know. It was amazing.
So they saw you as what we call a tastemaker selector, where you would break a record on a show, play it.
No. And when I start to make remixes, I didn't have the radio show.
Oh, you didn't have the radio show? Okay.
No. It was 1985, and I was working in a big radio station in Brazil. And I was the guy who used to put the songs to play on the radio, to make advertisings. I was working in the studio, right? I was editing tapes, cutting tapes and everything.
Oh.
But I knew the guys from the radio, from the record companies. And I look, that's myself and my friend Edvaldo.
See, I'm trying to keep up with you, man. I'm trying to keep up.
Yeah, you're good at that.
So he's got everybody see the brown tape? He's actually has a razor and what we used to call a grease pen. He would mark and cut.
Exactly. Do you see my MPC? Oh,
I'll go back. Yep.
Do you see my MPC on the top of the equipment?
Yep.
That's an MPC with a diskettes box. Anyway.
That's house music. See what I'm saying, everybody? That's what house music's all about.
True house story.
And that's really what it comes down to. It's a true house story. So you're editing and setting up commercials and all that for radio.
And because I was there working in the radio station, and the radio station was very important at that time, I said to the guys in the record companies, Sony Music and BMG and Warner, I said, look, give me a shot. Let me make a remix. I'm not going to charge you. So because I was on the radio station, they knew that song could be played on the radio station if I was doing the remix. So, you know,
I always say,
let me do the remix and I play the song on the radio station.
Don't worry, we got you. We hire him and it's on the radio.
I said, I know I'm a Jewish. I know how to negotiate. You know? Come on.
So Meme, how many shekels does it take to get the record on the radio? You see, you're not taking money because you're doing the remix for free, but
they want it. Yeah, no, they want it. No, the first remix was for free. The second, no.
Okay.
Come on.
Okay.
But the thing is, they said if we give Meme to give a to make a remix, they're gonna play it on the radio because he works on the radio. So let's give him a shot. Let's see what happens. You know, that's when I start. And my remixes were sent to the whole country, to all the radio stations in Brazil. And Brazil is like America, it's huge.
I know it's
like,
huge.
It's China, America, and Russia and Brazil are the biggest countries in the world.
I
right?
know. Consume music. Yeah, no, you're right. Okay. So explain at that time what a remix was consisting of, because later on we used to strip it down to the vocals.
Yeah.
Tell us at that time what a real remix was.
You had the original parts, like 24 channels or maybe more. And you work with the channels that you have, with the instruments that you have. You're not like, oh, I'm going to add electronic drums on that. No. You have to work with the sounds that you have. You don't change the arrangement that much. You work with what you have. You work with the vocals, the guitar, the bass line. You're going to use everything and switch it up and, you know, make a different structure. You can add a different EQ. You can reinforce the drums. You can do this, you can do that, but you can't change the arrangements. That started to happen in changing the arrangements, working with the vocals only. It was the end of 80s. It was 90s, right? Right. Yeah, Lenny Fontana.
I remember.
That's it.
No, because people don't know that. They think that was always like that. I said, no. The labels would go nuts if you came back. In fact, I have to give Shep Pettibone a lot of credit.
Oh, yeah?
Because Shep used to add cowbells and additional stuff to the record. They were still the original parts, but he would do overdubbing.
Jelly Bean and him, they started to change the game. Jelly Bean and Shep Pettibone, especially Shep.
More Shep.
They were masters on that. Yeah.
Rearrangements. Everything.
Jelly Bean is a master. He started to add percussion on that, Latin percussion, because, you know, Jelly Bean. So he started to add percussions on that, and that light up something in my head. You know, I said, wow, percussions? Can I do that? And I started to add percussions. Then I started to change the drums. Then I heard Shep Pettibone. I said, I can change the bass.
Yeah.
And then when you see, there's only the vocal left. But that was
87, 88.
89.
Yeah,
89.
Right.
Probably. Almost 90.
I think the first major label remix where I heard everything change completely was David Morales with the Instinctual Imagination record, where he changed everything.
But listen, Shep Pettibone was changing everything.
Yeah, but I'm talking about the house music, like with the 4/4 house beat. It was more of the street sound, where Shep was still keeping that.
I have to disagree, because Shep was doing that before Def Mix. Def Mix came up in 1987, and Shep was changing the game.
Totally. No, I'm not gonna say he's not, but I'm talking about for the change of a complete rearrangement of music.
Got it.
New keyboard parts, reproduction.
Yeah.
Yo, I never heard anybody do that until all of a sudden later on. You know that.
Def Mix. I was there.
I know you were there. Let's go to that picture. I want to show everybody how much he was there, okay? Oh, God.
The 4 of us?
Yeah, I'm going to go to 4 of you.
Okay.
I've got to find them now. And I just had it in front of me. Oh, my God. Okay, yes, here we go. So.
That's it.
Hector Romero, congratulations. His daughter just graduated from Adelphi.
Yeah. He's my favorite DJ ever, Hector.
Hector's a great DJ. David.
He's amazing.
David Morales, that we've had on here as well.
And his mother. That's his mother.
And his mother next to, yep, his mother.
Yeah, his mother.
Frankie Knuckles. Francine Knuckles. And DJ Meme.
It's me. That was in Mykonos. It was David Morales' birthday. He always celebrates his birthday in Mykonos every year.
At Cavo.
And we were sent there to make the parties, you know, when I was at Def Mix. I spent like 3 years at Def Mix, no more than that. When Frankie died,
And Judy Weinstein's the manager.
Judy Goddess Weinstein. I love that. She's a goddess. She knows everything. She is above human beings. She is Judy Weinstein.
Yeah, Judy Weinstein.
Exactly. I love her. That was on Mykonos too. I spent 3 years at Def Mix because Frankie Knuckles invited me to go to Def Mix. I said, "What? I can't go to Def Mix, Frankie. I'm not a Def Mix guy." He said, "You are. You just don't know that."
You just don't know it.
I said, "Really? Yeah, let me call Judy. I always talk about you." And then he called Judy, and Judy said, "He's always talking about you." That's Frankie. I love that picture. I'm pointing to his name, and he's pointing to my name. That was in Amsterdam.
Yes, I see. 25 years at Def Mix. In 20.
And I remind Judy Weinstein, Judy, this is the year that Def Mix is 25 years old. She said, "You're right. I forgot that. We have to celebrate."
Yeah, 87 years to 2012.
And then we went to Amsterdam. We made a party, and it was great. It was a great party.
What'd you learn at Def Mix that you didn't know?
That's a good question. I never thought about that.
Or what changed you from what you used to do to you being at Def Mix?
The point of view that people has from myself.
And what way would that be?
Def Mix is an agency. It's more like a family, right? It's not an agency of DJs. How many DJs you had on Def Mix? Not 10. Def Mix started at 1987, and so far they had like 7,
that's right,
8 DJs, no more than that. So when you're there, you know you're special. When Frankie Knuckles says you're like us, you know you're special. So people, at that time, I was working with Defected. They have an agency. They have a DJing agency called Colluded Talent. And I said, "Look, I'm probably not going to stay because, there's
Simon Dunmore, the head honcho.
Yeah.
You without the beard, everybody.
Young Simon and young Meme.
Yep.
Yeah, with the big ears. I changed that. You see that? You see? Look, it's different now.
What'd you do?
So anyway, I was working with them at that time, and I said, "Look, I had a call from Def Mix. They didn't believe it. They thought I was goofing around. I was like, lying." I said, "No, it's true." Judy called me and said, "Come to New York. Let's have a talk." And then I went from Defected agency to Def Mix. And people started to look at me like he's special. It is good from that. I couldn't resist to that. I couldn't. When Frankie Knuckles says, "Come with me," you go.
It's true.
Right?
What are you going to do? What are you going to say no to him? You don't
What are you say no, Frankie, sorry, you're wrong.
You don't say no to Frankie.
Frankie was never wrong. Never.
I know. I've spent many nights with Frankie.
Yeah,
and
so
He gave us a lot of that. I called it Frankie isms, that things that only he would say, and he would recenter you and put you where you need to be. You know,
Frankie had always the right word for anything. It's like, Frankie, I need to talk to you. Blah 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 blah. And then he was like, do this. I never thought about that.
Right, just the one thing he would say. You go. That's what I said, recentering you.
What tiny word, one tiny line, what small line, and then he had the answer. You know, he was like a Buddha.
He would go,
Frankie Buddha Knuckles.
Yeah,
he was a Buddha, right?
Yeah, exactly.
He was very wise. Yeah.
The masters, look at them. Tony Humphries and Frankie with Ted Patterson and Meme all together.
Exactly.
I miss him.
Master. They are.
I miss him. I do miss Frankie.
Me too. This was the last time I saw him.
Meme, let me ask you.
He died 3 years after this picture.
Let me ask you.
3 days.
3 days. Let me ask you something. You could play the same records Frankie plays, and I've said this as a DJ as well.
Okay.
Same way, same order. But when I heard Frankie play them, they sound different. Is that the?
Yeah.
Yeah. It was just like, what? It's amazing. I would sit there and go.
You want to see Frankie playing those records. You don't want to hear the records. You want to see Frankie playing those records. It's different. Frankie was a universe. He was story, a DJ. He was history, man. It's hard to explain, right? Frankie was. I don't have words to explain.
Yeah, it's hard to explain. He was. I always used to say he's like a force that comes in and is just like magic.
He was the Darth Vader in a good way. Yeah,
right. He smiles and lights up a room.
His smile was everything.
An infectious thing. I know.
I try to be like Frankie in a way that you have to be kind to people. You have to respect everything. I always remember Frankie when in the middle of a situation that I have to deal with people. He knew how to deal with people with a smile. What the hell is that?
No matter how bad he felt or how angry he was.
Exactly.
I know.
He was like, I hate you.
Yeah.
But he had that smile that, changed everything.
He would say, and we would all say quietly, he doesn't like that person, but he's still going to give you Frankie. Speaking of another legend, let's go to this legend who's no longer with us. Mark Hemmings.
Mark Hemmings. Mark. This guy was very friendly, helpful, always there to anybody. He was like a leader. Mark Hemmings, the guy who people knows him like the guy who discovered Madonna.
Right.
He is, yeah. He came before Jelly Bean. And I remember I went to his place in New York, a big loft. And I said, wow, this place is amazing. Who gave you that, Madonna? He said, basically.
Sounds like it, basically. Sounds like it. Basically.
Mark was, I don't understand why he died, because Mark was to be here now. He was one of those people who you gotta have around, you gotta talk to Mark sometimes, but he's not here anymore, so I miss him. Mark Hemmings.
Did you was he living in Brazil at any point? Because I heard he was down there somewhere.
No. He used to live in New York, but he moved to somewhere. I don't remember now.
I thought it was South America, maybe Costa Rica or something. I thought it was Brazil for whatever reason. I don't remember. I know it's down below Mexico for sure, because he was out in New York for a while. And
yeah, but he was in Brazil. He was in Brazil. He was in Brazil, but he had a connection with Brazil because his partner in the studio, Tuta Kino. You know Tuta?
Tuta Kino. I remember the name. I don't know him, but I do know.
Tuta is big friend of mine. He lives in São Paulo. He's Brazilian. He had this connection with Brazil because of Tuta. Tuta was his partner in the studio, and he came to Brazil like 2 or 3 times, Mark. But I don't know. I don't remember where he was living, apart of living in America, of course. But he was a pioneer. Mark was the guy from Danceteria.
Oh,
the guy
yeah.
who discovered Madonna.
Big time.
Yeah, of course. In the 80s, come on. Him and there was a few guys in the 80s that were really important as DJs, you know. And he was one of them.
Totally.
Mark was very
100%. And who followed him was Freddie Bastone.
Oh, yeah?
He worked at
they used to work together, huh?
Yes. He worked at Danceteria too. His post was on this show. I got him to speak about it. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
This is one thing I want to bring up to everybody. I want to show this. And this is what I want to ask you to explain this. We didn't know this existed, but we want to know why. What is this diploma? I'm trying to figure out what diploma is this.
How you like that?
Diploma Mimics DJ School.
I had a DJ school, something to teach people to DJ, you know, in the 80s. Look at the time, 1992. But this was the end of my school. I finished the school in 1992. I started in 1989.
Okay.
1980, yeah, around 89, something like that. But it was like a DJ course to teach people how to DJ, you know.
So how long was the course? What was involved? And how? Okay. Anyone famous come out of that school that we hear today?
Not famous in Brazil. Not there. You
okay.
know?
All right.
Not in abroad, but yeah, some Brazilian DJs they passed through my school, but it was fun. You know, people wanted to be DJs, and there was nobody to teach at that time. So I said, "Look, I can do it." I was in a radio station with a big radio show, and I said, "I'm going to advertise on my radio show, and people are going to show up in the DJ course." So it was great. It lasts like 3-4 years, something like that. Then I stopped. It's too. You have to focus. You have to focus. You have to be a teacher.
That's the problem. Everybody wants a teacher, and if you're now mixing, DJing, and making gold records.
Look, this guy,
Lulu Santos.
Look, this guy changed the whole game. He is a huge Brazilian artist. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
He was huge in the 80s, and then he, you know, had a gap. And in the 90s, he was like, nobody talks to him. He had no success. And then he came to me. He saw one record that I made, and then he came to me and said, "Look, I'm calling you because I have an idea in my mind. I have no record company, no contract, no record to do right now, but I have an idea in my mind. And I heard the things that you've been doing. I wanted to help me to achieve what's in my mind." I said, "All right." And then he said, "I want to make this song with a sample of Jimmy Bohorn, You Get Me Hot. You know the song?" I said, "Are you kidding? I have the record right here in my hand right now."
Boom.
I said, "Yeah." I said, "Let's go to my studio tonight." And then like in 3 hours, we had the whole thing.
So is this the studio that we should say this is what was happening? Was this the studio?
No, this is the studio where I got money because of that.
Okay, so let's say this was the studio that you were working towards, but you had the idea. Got it.
Exactly.
Okay.
This was my second studio. My first studio was just a room, you know, with 2 or 3 keyboards, no drum machines, just my MPC 60, which is also here somewhere in my home. And wait. And then we started there. There was no record company. There was nothing. Then we produced like a demo with 2 or 3 songs. Remember, he was a huge artist before. He was down at that time. And
nobody wants you at that time. Nobody's into you when you're in that level.
Nobody was into him that time.
Okay.
I remember going with him to McDonald's. Nobody talks to him. Come on, McDonald's, right? Nobody talked to him. He was there and nobody talking to him. So it was a bad moment. But anyway, when we made this record, he became big again. And then on the next year, he made a record that he insists to call Me and Meme, Meme and Me. I said, are you nuts?
What?
No. This record is more yours than mine. You made the whole record. You deserve that. So I want to call it, like that. And then my name came up as a producer. Then I made a lot of records in Brazil. I started to make pop records, but with the DJ point of view, with beats, bass lines, and everything. So it was a good moment, Then I built that studio. Got it?
Go back to that studio.
Go back to that studio.
So here's a question I have. A gold record in Brazil at that time.
100,000 records.
So 100,000 singles to get the gold.
Albums.
Oh, you did the albums. Okay.
I did the albums, yeah.
On his hit record, so basically they pushed it as an album, and it's not singles at all.
Exactly. It was a whole album. At that time, I'm talking about 94, 95.
Yes, when vinyl, when CDs sold, physical copies sold for real.
Yeah. The CD, there was a transition from vinyl to CD at that time. It was not only CD, there was vinyl also. But the record companies used to say, a single, we can't sell a single. A single doesn't sell. We have to make an album. I said, all right, let's make an album. So I was producing albums. Then I produced albums until 2001, something like that. Then the market changed. But I can you believe that? Myself, a DJ who didn't like to play soccer, I was producing records and they were calling me Midas on the newspaper.
For the Golden Touch.
DJ Meme, the Midas of pop music. I said, me? I'm just a DJ. That was weird,
But that's great. That's the thing. You can't, how do you put it? You don't dream for that. You just do what you feel you want to do. And it changes a movement.
Yeah.
And
I wasn't thinking about it. I was just doing my thing. I was not like, I'm going to change the movement. I'm going to change the world. No, I was just having fun and making money.
Right. Making money and making more records. Because what happens is, as you are the Midas Touch, the golden boy.
Wait a minute. Don't leave the chair. Wait a minute.
Not leaving anywhere. So far, we're doing good with DJ Meme on our first official show, only on Twitch. And everybody has been. Demetria Finesca, thank you for coming in. Did I miss anybody? Let's see. Did I get anybody I'm missing?
This is the record.
Oh, look. He's got it.
Yeah. We made it.
We made it, right?
That's the cover.
The teddy bears, Meme and me.
Exactly. Me and Meme.
Me and Meme and Meme.
You see my name? Me and Meme, me.
I see
Meme, you.
Where's the Meme name come from, Meme? Who gave
Come
you?
Again.
Who made you? Should I say? How does the Meme name come from, Mansour?
My name is Marcelo Mansour.
Marcelo Mansour.
M, like Eminem.
Oh.
Okay? And then one day somebody was calling me Eminem, answer the phone. Eminem, answer the phone. Eminem, please. Yo, Meme. Somebody called me Meme. I said, come on. Meme is a horrible name. Don't call me like that. And everybody heard. So you know how it is, right?
Guess what now? You all got to call him Meme now. And they kept, Meme, Meme.
Can I tell you something? Can I tell you something? I hate this name. I hate to be Meme. I hate it. What can I do?
Have you ever told this to anyone before on any interview?
I don't remember.
I don't think so. I've never heard of this.
I don't think so. See? I never heard this. Never said that before.
Okay, let me clarify this. On True House Stories, this is what I love about this show. This is
I hate this name, DJ Meme. My name is beautiful. Marcello Mansour. There's no other name. It's like a royal name.
So why didn't you clear that up?
I tried to, but I can't. It's too popular. And now, Meme, it's everywhere because the internet, Meme.
Oh, yeah. Everywhere. That's all you need. That's all we needed to hear. Meme. Did you see Meme play? Did he play? Yes, of course.
It's too late for that.
What am I going to do? All right, so let's go down some of these memory lanes. Marcos Valle on the roads.
Marcos Valle is one of our biggest bossa nova artists. My father was his fan.
Here we go.
He would be proud of this picture. He's not here anymore, my father. He would be proud of this picture. I was selling, this is my place, my home. I was selling this Fender Rhodes, actually Fender Roses, because it's
beautiful.
Rose.
Yeah.
Pink Rose, yeah. I sold this for him. I was selling this for him at that time, and people make the picture. So Marcos Valle is one of the biggest in Brazil, you know, one of the bossa nova heroes.
What year did you have your mega store?
That's my record store. And in 1991, I opened a record store for DJs with import records, turntables, mixers, you know, everything that a DJ needs, even T-shirts, of course, you know.
How long did you have that shop going for?
I started, we opened in 1991. I left everything in 95, probably, you know, because, you know, I need to focus. I can't do 2, 3 things at a time. I'm not that good. I need to focus in one thing at a time. So I was doing a lot of stuff. I was producing records. I was making the radio shows, and I had to leave the store to my partner. This is the record bag, you know. DJ Mega Store. It was very, very popular in Rio de Janeiro at that time. Very much, very much. Every day, I remember the day we opened the store. Listen, the glass, the display glass of the store was all blurred because there was so many people inside the store that the air conditioner was not, you know, was not enough. Yeah, really, trust me, was not enough. And people were sweating inside the store. There was so much people. I made a lot of money. I couldn't close the what, how do you call it? The drawer. I couldn't close the drawer. The money was, you know, coming out of the drawer.
It should always be like that. It should always be like that. It's just wish we always every day's like that.
Yeah, of course. I think so. I believe that. Should be like that. But anyway, you know, so there was a point when I understood that having a record store is not about music. It's about business. I said, that's not my thing. I love music. I love music. I can't be thinking about, oh, when the records are coming out. Oh, I have to travel to buy more records. Oh, where are the turntables? They are not here anymore.
Yeah, right. Exactly.
That's not my thing. You know, I don't want to work with that. So I left. I left to my partner. Whatever.
And then, of course, you come to New York and then you go to Vinyl Mania.
Vinyl Mania!
Charlie Capone.
If you never went to Vinyl Mania, you don't know what a being DJ. You know, you're not a DJ.
So you bring that back to Brazil to bring that shop, that feeling to Rio, right?
Exactly. You're right. You got me. I wanted to have a record store dedicated to DJs only. DJ Mega Store. This is me in the middle with my glasses.
Mm-hmm.
I don't use it anymore. I don't have it.
He's got perfect, as he grew up, he got perfect eyesight now.
Yeah. You remember that store? How good it was?
I remember.
Of course you do.
I remember when that store used to be one block closer to 6th Avenue, and it was smaller, half the size, and it was crazy packed in there.
Oh. Really? Wow.
Half the size. Where he put the Vinyl Mania Rock store. Do you remember he had that was the original Vinyl Mania Records that they got that store they moved to. But every
time I was in New York, I had Vinyl Mania to go, Downstairs Records. What else?
Satellite.
Satellite, of course. Satellite.
Dance Tracks.
Dance Tracks. That's it. These four and the others. Right? Rock and Soul.
Oh, yeah, Rock and Soul with Keith. Oh, yeah.
They're still there, right?
Yes, they're still there. It's crazy.
It's different now, but they're still there.
So let me jump from one to, this is really Roberto Carlos.
Yeah,
look at Meme. Look at Meme with Roberto Carlos. You can tell everybody who he is, Meme.
Roberto Carlos is like our Julio Iglesias. He is one of the most important singers ever in Brazil. Since the 60s so far. He is the king. We call him the king of music in Brazil. And then he called me one day to make a show with him in Maracanã, which you probably know what it is.
Yep.
A big stadium. And we spent 3 days in Maracanã making this show. Then I went to the studio to make remixes for him. And he's an amazing guy. Amazing. But he's like 80-something years old, you know?
Once again, did you ever dream that this would...
No.
No, see, no. You can't put... If somebody said to you, you knew, you would laugh at them, right? You'd be like...
Yeah, of course. Nothing was planned, Lenny. Nothing. I just went with the flow. Because music is my thing. I want to go where music is. So when I saw... I was doing something for the music. When you do something for the music, it comes back to you. Got it?
Yeah.
It's like a religion. If you do something for the music, it turns back to you.
I don't get better than that. I mean, well, okay. Exactly. So what was your first international DJ gig leaving Brazil? And what year was that?
My first manager was Wolfgang Zelich, one old guy from Hamburg. And he used to come to Brazil a lot. And then we met and he said, come to Hamburg one day. And then I went to his place. And then he took me to, the clubs in Hamburg. And then I said, I would love to play at this club. And then he said, really? Wait a minute.
Hold on.
Who's the owner? Who's the owner? I said, what are you doing? No, wait a minute. Who's the owner? Oh, blah, 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 blah. I don't speak German. And then he said, you want to come back in the next year? They're going to put you to play in here. I said, you want to be my manager? He said, sure. I'm already a manager. You just don't know it. I said, come on. All right, let's do it. And he was my first manager. And then my first gig abroad was in Hamburg.
Okay.
At a place called Betty Ford Clinic.
Oh, wow. I remember Betty Ford Clinic. Yes.
You been there?
I played there. Yes.
All right. So you know the place?
In the red light district area. I know it.
Exactly.
That's how I was like, Betty Ford.
Heppenbahn. It's the same place where the Beatles played.
Yes.
For the first time. Yeah, right. In Hamburg. Heppenbahn.
See that, people? History. But we weren't the Beatles. We were dance music producer DJs.
The true house stories.
There you go.
Here.
So now tell us this this tale of how it all came together. Go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, I'm talking to Mike Cronenberger from Milk and Sugar.
Yep.
And he's saying hello to you.
Oh, hello, Mikey. Everybody, hello. Tell them to jump on Twitch. get on Twitch.
Yeah. He's saying hello. Anyway.
Milk and Sugar from Germany, everybody. Michael.
I have to. He's in Brazil right now. I have to meet him in a couple of minutes.
Oh, he's doing. Is he on tour?
He's on tour. He has 3 gigs in Brazil to do.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Nice. So you were saying now you were okay. So your first international gig was the Betty Ford Clinic.
Betty Ford Clinic, the first one.
Okay.
Then the China Club, like one day after that. China Club, also in Hamburg, the same place, Happy Bun, same area, amazing.
Okay. And then we now get to know Meme as an international DJ, but what really makes the explosion happen? There's always that one thing that takes you out of where you come from and makes you that.
The mixes, the remixes.
Okay.
The Cure and the Cause. I Shall Not Be Moved by Kenny Bobian.
There you go, everybody. Go find those records. Come on now. I shall not be moved. I remember that.
Brian Teppert, one of my favorite people in the world, called me one day and said, man, here's Brian. Cheers, Brian. We were talking on FaceTime.
Man, I like what you do.
Man, I like what you're doing, man. Can you do that, man? It's like Joe Pesci.
Yeah, right.
Joe Pesci of the dance music, Brian.
Exactly.
So he asked me, I just licensed I Shall Not Be Moved by Kenny Bobian, and I need a couple of remixes. Can you do one mix for me? I said, yeah, sure. Send me the song. You know the song? I said, of course. I didn't know the song.
Lies, Meme, lies.
Sometimes you have to lie.
Yeah, it's okay.
Right?
I know the song.
Lie. It's not a bad lie. It's a good lie.
I know the song. Anyway. I know the song inside out. Hold on.
I know the song inside out. Come on, send me the song. Let me do it.
Wait. In those days, was put the thing over the phone. Has anybody heard the song?
He said, you know, right? It's a gospel song. I said, yeah, sure. I'm not gospel. I'm Jewish. Come on. I said, yeah, sure. I know it. It's all right. I'm sending you the parts. And then I did the remix. Boom. And then I did the Cure and the Cause, the orchestra, disco mix with the strings and everything.
I want to get to that picture. I want to find that picture you sent me with the disco orchestra. I want to show that.
It's there.
I know, I saw it. I've been passing it, but for whatever reason, I can't seem to find. I'm going to find it, damn it.
That's a good true house story.
And we're going to bring... So what happened? So you did the Cure and the Cause. And then everything, I guess everything starts to change because now a really big label and internationally now is looking at you and helping you push your name. And of course,
I was making remixes for all the records, all the labels before, like Sulfuric for Brian and some more small labels too. But Dimitri from Paris, my old grumpy friend, introduced me to Simon Dummer and said, Simon, you should hear the things that this Brazilian guy is doing. There he is. Dimitri. I love this person.
It's funny how you said that. I like that. Grumpy.
I love this person. It's the grumpy man.
It's true.
I'm grumpy too.
He's not grumpy with me, but he is grumpy. I know. We were together. He's grumpy. Yeah. Now, that's what I'm talking about. Meme and his orchestra. Look.
This was the day when we record the Cure and the Cause. After the session, then I took this picture. Let me tell you the story about this. This is a good story, okay? The thing is, a friend of mine from England sent me the original version of the Cure and the Cause by Fish Go Deep. We used to play Dennis Ferrer mix, right?
Yep.
Dennis Ferrer mix was the mix. Nobody knew the original one. So we were playing Dennis Ferrer mix for about a year. And then one day a friend of mine from England sent me sent me the original mix, but it was not the original. It was just the keyboards and the vocal, like a keyboard Pella version, right?
Yep.
And then he said, "Look how beautiful this is." And then I heard the original chords. I said, "Wow, this is amazing." I never knew this song was so beautiful, because I know the Dennis Ferrer song, which is very underground, but these chords are amazing. And then I spent like 24 hours with that in my mind. And the next day I was writing Simon Dunmore on the Defected. And I said, "Simon, would you give me a shot to make you a remix of The Cure and the Cause?" Then he wrote me back saying, "Meme, this song was released 1 year ago. We're not working this song anymore. It's fading out. So we don't need a remix." Then I said, what am I going to say to him?
Right. What's the next thing to get him to persuade him?
To give me the parts.
So let me give you Simon Dunmore. He's like...
Then I had a crazy idea. I said, look, I had an idea to make it with strings and everything and making it like a disco record. And then he wrote me back and said, "Oh, that's not a bad idea. Okay." Then he put me on the loop with somebody else at Defected and said, "Look, give him the vocals and everything. So he's going to make a remix with the orchestra, blah, blah, blah." I said, "Thank you." Then I was like, fuck, what am I going to do now?
Let's go back to the string arrangement. Wait, did you have the orchestra?
People I have there? I have to pay all these people.
Well, I was going to say, did you have this orchestra yet in mind, or you just...
No, I had nothing in mind. Nothing. I was lying. Again. I was lying. And I said, I have to make an orchestra. I have to put on an orchestra to do that. How am I going to do that? I don't know. So then I start to do that because I'm very confident. Got it? I know the disco. I know how disco is. And I had this idea in my mind. So I started to work the structure of the song, the beats and everything. Then I called a maestro. I said, look, can you come to my place? I told him, I want this, I want that. I want your ideas too. So let's put everything together. And then you write a score and let's record next week. He said, okay, I'll be there. Then we did it. And I sent to Simon. He was like, wow, let's do it. The rest is history, you know?
See? But nobody knew.
The good thing is, I didn't have a budget. I was on spec. And then I called the maestro. I said, look, we worked together many times. I need your help now. Can you help me? He said, yes. I called the studio and said, look, we worked together many times.
Here we go. You're negotiating now. Everybody.
Can you help? Yeah, yes, exactly. Can you help me? I don't have a budget. He said, yes. Then I called the musicians.
And you did the same thing?
Can you help me? Yes. Can you help me? Yes. Can you help? Then I had all the musicians, everything for free.
Meme,
of course.
If you would have had to pay that physically, how much would that have cost you?
When Defected released that, he paid me. Then I paid all the people.
So how much was the budget for the orchestra and stuff?
1,500 pounds.
2,200 US dollars. My God.
Yeah, around that. Maybe
with the studio and everything?
Everything.
That's great. There. That's a good deal.
Yeah, because it's way more cheap to record in Brazil.
Oh, hell yeah. Yeah. Sure. No, but you know what that would have cost to do in New York? Forget it. Then
when I saw it, I said, that's what I'm going to do now. Then I started to make the DJ Meme Orchestra. Any Love, Love Is You, and a lot of records with the orchestra. People gave me the money, and I paid the orchestra, and bang! Because if you go to record in England or in America, it's going to cost you way more than that, right?
Even in the time when those records were made, I talked to the producers. It was costing them in the 70s 7, 8, 9,000.
It's expensive.
12,000 in that time. And you can imagine what that costed now.
You know the last song Dimitri made called Music Saved My Life? You know that?
Yes, I do.
It has strings, orchestra arrangement and everything. He called me to record the orchestra for him, to produce the orchestra for him with the budget from Defected.
Yeah, because
so it was cheap for him. Yeah.
Yeah, because he can't do it in France. It's too expensive.
Too expensive. Then I made it for him because he's my friend, you know. So I did it for him. I was producing the orchestra. When you hear the orchestra, it's the DJ Meme Orchestra playing. Got it?
You're the Vince. My man Meme is the Vince Montana of Brazil, baby.
Wait a minute. Not that much.
He's getting there. DJ Meme Orchestra.
Vincent Montana.
See, but Meme, we didn't know. See, now, unless you explain all this, nobody really knows what truly goes into putting this together. Organization. Fear of failing. You still have a fear. You believe in it, but you still got a fear of, can we make this work? Can we get everybody paid?
The thing is, until you get to the studio, you don't know what the guy wrote on the score. You have an idea because you gave him some ideas, and he's going to put it together with his ideas. And he said, he calls you and says, I'm ready. Let's go to the studio. You don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, you don't know what excitement or failure is coming.
Yeah, and the thing is, if you don't like something, you have to be able to talk to him and change it, and talk to the whole orchestra. How are you going to do that if you don't have an experience?
Back to the first hour, everyone, when I asked him, should you have experience when you deal with the Meme Orchestra? Answer?
I had my experience before the orchestra, which was a musical experience. And then I brought it to fix and find a solution when I had to change something. Got it? I said, look, I don't like this line. What do you think we should do? I think maybe you should go to this note, blah, 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 blah. And then all of them have to write it again on the score because they don't play without a score. Orchestra people, they don't play without a score. They have to have the paper. You don't say like, ba, 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 ba. They don't play it. They need a score.
You need somebody to write the score out and can the music charts to them.
It's like 20 minutes without nothing, people writing, changing. Let's have a coffee. Let's talk, blah, blah, blah. That's it. If you don't like it, you don't have to let it go. You have to stop it.
Hold it. Stop.
If you're not confident, because you gotta be confident to stop it and say what you want. How do you say what you want if you don't know what you want? If you don't know how to talk to musicians? Because Lenny, you know, they talk different. The language is different. The words are different. The musical words is different.
You're right. Trying to explain what you need is not easy when you don't know how to explain it in musical terms.
It's not easy. It's not easy.
Correct.
It's not easy. But then after the third session, I was feeling like a master.
You were a master at that point, right?
No, feeling like. I'm not a master, you know. Look, I'm only a DJ.
Let me go back to this picture. Who started right here at his first club, Papagayo.
The first Papagayo, which means parrot, as you see.
The Parrot Disco Club.
Parrot Disco Club in Rio de Janeiro. It was the first club I played when I was 15 years old.
So when you're thinking at 15, did you ever think 30 years later, whatever, that you're going to be at this level, hanging with these guys, talking. Stoney, Eric Cupper. I mean, look at the people that you have been around. You know, played with Jamie Lewis.
My brother, I was paying to be at the conference and see Eric talking. And then I turned to the other side and I was doing the panel with him years after that.
Right.
Know?
See?
At first, in 85, no, 95, I was paying to be at the panel. One of the guys was, watching Eric talk for 3 or 4 years. Then when I started to be recognized by people, he called me to be, a panelist. I was like, really? I don't have to pay anymore?
Crazy.
I was on the other side, It was great, man. The good thing about everything that we're talking here is the people. To know the good people. Frankie, Eric, Lenny Fontana, there's a bunch of good people around that because you are being recognized as one of them, you get to be their friends, and they are really inspiring, They are really part of your experience. They teach you something. Just being there and having a chat on a dinner or a lunch, you learn something. This is my treasure.
It's a wonderful treasure. I have to ask you about this old picture. This I don't know, and maybe you can enlighten me, because I like to know what this is.
This is when I was starting to remix. This was the other remix that was in Brazil called Iraí Campos. And this is myself.
Yeah, I know it's you there, of course.
Each one holding other's record. I did that record that he's holding now, and he did that record that I'm holding
okay,
now.
Nice.
Yeah, we were proud to be remixers in Brazil, That's it.
And this guy who changed the game for all of us in around 06,
David Guetta.
David Guetta out of France.
He is a gentleman, a nice person, friendly person, a great human being that he is. He came to Brazil, and his manager called me and said, look, David wants to record Brazilian sounds, percussions, blah, blah, blah. I don't know anything about that. You mind to help him somehow? Can he call you now? Do you mind? He said, no. He can call me now. I'm waiting. Then he said, look, I need some percussionists to record some, tracks in Brazil. I would like to have Brazilian musicians playing, but I don't know the people there. I don't know the studios there. I don't know nothing there. Can you help me with that? I said, sure. In 20 minutes, I had anything set up. And then he said, look, can you go with me to the studio? I said, of course. Then we spent like 4 or 5 days in the studio. It was amazing, amazing. Because, people talk many bullshit about him, like he's not real, he doesn't do his stuff, he's blah, blah, blah. He's nothing like that. He's for real. He's a house DJ like you and me.
I remember I played with him at Space back when we were playing vinyl, so I do know that. I do know he knows how to play music.
That's it. He's a great DJ. I can't tell you everything we talk because it's very private, but he is in trouble. Like, I can't change, man. I would love to go to the house thing, but I can't.
No, he's a pop star. He's in a different world.
Yeah, he said, look, I can't change it. Right now, the only way is to stop, let people forget about me, and then come back is a different thing. Because I can't play what I want.
No, he's got to play now. He's got to play the records that all over the... Yeah, I believe all over the radio. The records people want to hear that he made. All those big hits.
It's like selling your soul to devil. It's the same thing, You want money? Okay, you're going to make money, but you're not going to play your stuff anymore. You're not going to play the things you like anymore. I don't want that for me. I love money, but...
How much?
Not as much as I love music.
You want to make enough to be able to be comfortable so that you could do what you enjoy.
Yeah, exactly.
Not make all this money and now hate what you do, which is hard.
Yeah.
Here we go. The master himself, Jelly Bean.
Yeah.
With JoJo.
Yeah.
And I remember when you went to do that gig. I remember when they announced you were going up to Canada to play. I was like, oh.
In Canada, exactly, Canada. That was in Canada. We were playing at Disco Capital, a party that Jelly Bean and Jojo throw up, and they called me to play with them in Canada. It was amazing. It was months before the pandemic.
Right. Was France Jolie there?
Yeah, no, that was a different story. Jelly Bean was going back to New York, and I was going back to New York too because my son was in New York. I said, I'm going there to meet you. And then Jelly Bean said, you're going to be in New York this weekend? There's a celebration, a disco award in Brooklyn. Oh. You want to come up? I can put you on the list. You know what it is?
Legends of Vinyl, I remember.
Exactly. That's it. Legends of Vinyl. Exactly.
Yes.
Legends of Vinyl. He said, you want to come up? I said, yeah, whatever it is. Yeah, let's do it. Everybody was there. Richie family, Frank Jolie, Denise Montana, Anita Ward, a bunch of people. Bunch of people. The Rays, A Little Loving. Remember that?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
The doctor is away. A Little Loving keeps the doctor away.
Keep the doctors away. Exactly.
A little loving.
They were all there.
Little loving. Yeah, oh, yeah. I had to think for a minute because we're in house music and I had to think into my disco mode. Yeah, yeah.
One hit wonder, right?
Yeah, that's the only record I know the Rays had that made any kind of real noise.
And Frank Jolie was there. I had a picture with her.
Oh, sure. She's a nice lady.
She is. She is.
I think we covered so many things. I will say this. David Penn goofing around with you.
Yeah.
David Penn's hot now. He's the hot kid.
Him.
Yep. Guy Barato.
This guy is one of my best friends, one of my favorite people in the world. Nice person, gentleman, always there to help. And when I go to Sao Paulo, I have to meet him. We go out for dinner. He's a good friend. He's one of my favorite friends.
Mr. Sam?
This guy was the guy who taught me the value of the vinyl. Before that, I used to love music. When I met him, he taught me how to love the vinyl itself, the records itself. Got it? This was not this picture, but I met him, I was 16 years old. So he was a master on the north side of the city, playing R&B and, more soul stuff. And then he told me how to value the vinyl. I love this guy very much. He's one of my masters.
And of course, you in Melbourne, Australia.
Amazing. Melbourne is like Earth 2.0. I mean, Australia is like, wow. It's a place that it's amazing. I love Australia.
Richard Earnshaw?
Exactly. Richie Earnshaw. I love this guy.
And what is this?
He was there with me in Sydney.
And then where's this now? Tocando. Is that
also there in Sydney?
It was in Sydney? Okay.
We were playing on a boat at the Sydney area, Sydney Bay. The Sydney Theatre is on the back, but you can't see it because it's the other side. And this is Italy, my place in the world. One day I'm going to move to Italy because I love so much these people, this place. This was probably one of my best gigs ever. Because I felt so at home with these people that, you know how it is, right? I felt so at home.
There's an affection that they love. There's an affection that nobody can understand unless you play there. The people.
Italians do it better. Right, Lenny Fontana?
Yes, it's true. And then we got Jask, Brian Tappert, yourself, and John Julius Knight.
John Julius Knight. Love these three people.
It's amazing. You got such great photos. Amazing. You have beautiful photos.
Yeah. I love these people. Friends, man. Friends are everything. Love my friends. What is it? Oh, that was Southport Weekender. It's not a good picture, but
you rocked it. You rocked it.
Yeah.
I mean, look what music is taking you. Bali.
Bali. Man, I had so much food that day. Look at the table. Look at the table, man. There was a bunch of food, and they eat with the hand. They eat with the hands. Crazy, right?
And a sad but happy one. Okay, everyone. Here's one that's sad but happy.
I remember when I was in Bali, I said, wow.
Ukraine.
I am in Bali. Yeah, that was Ukraine. That was the first time and the only time when I couldn't focus on the music because there were so many beautiful women looking at me at that time. No, that's true. That's true. I'm not a humanizer. Look, I'm not a humanizer, okay? But I couldn't focus because there was 6 women in front of me like this. Me? Really?
They love you.
Myself, DJ Meme.
I think
it was great.
I think we have Preeti.
This lady is a special person in my life. She was my second manager, and I love her as a mother, as a daughter, as a friend. She is one of my most important people in my life. I love her so much. She was my manager. She came to Brazil with Terra Diva, and we met her. We met at a party, and she said, "Oh, you DJ Meme? That's funny because there are some people that are looking for you in England. They want to play. They wanted to play there." I said, "I don't have a manager." Then she said, "You want me to be your manager?" I said, "Yes." Then she was my manager for years before I go to Defected. Then I went to Def Mix, but she was my manager for years, and we are still friends.
Awesome.
I love her so much, so much. You have no idea.
But it's nice that, I'm hearing this from you. It's not like you did the thing with some of people we know dispose of people when they're finished. I notice you still have the same people that you know for a long time around you, including me. I know this because you don't let anyone go. You always check in with people from time to time. I know that.
My heart is connected to my brain.
I want to let everybody know something very important too. Meme is blessed. He's a father. Okay. He's got his daughter and he's got his son. 4. He'll let you know.
Kids.
One of them went on to go and follow his footsteps.
Yeah.
In the music industry. And we were joking about it last week about how his son, he'll tell you in a minute, how his son is getting up there in the Brazilian major label. Meme, tell us which one is the one that's now following and taking it further than you did.
This is very funny because Daniel, my son, my number 3.
Number 3.
He's going to turn 26 in September. He is a manager, A&R manager on Warner Music. This is crazy. He's living in his own apartment now, but he was living at home with me. But this is crazy having A&R in the family.
Wonderful.
Right? I said to him, give me a job.
No.
Wait, father.
Father, you're too expensive. I can't afford you. I'm not in budget.
Look, he said, people gonna sell. I'm putting you on the game, but wait a minute.
Let me get my feet wet. Let me get my feet wet.
Yeah, exactly. He's very talented. He's a bass player. He plays bass in everything I do. And then now he's working at the Warner Music. Come on.
Meme, incredible. Congratulations on your family. Congratulations that decades later you're still doing it and not stopping under no conditions.
Ain't no stopping us now.
Don't you love that? Did you ever? That's another thing, and I always say this in interviews too. When we started doing this, we didn't think there'll be this longevity.
Because there was no...
It was nothing to look back at.
The thing is, when you and me started, there was no a long road. There was a limit, right?
Yeah.
There was a limit. because we became what we are because we started to make music.
Right.
When you make music, you get into people's house, and then they recognize you, because before just playing on clubs, you play on clubs, you play records until the day that you say, okay, I'm done. There was an end before.
Right.
You could never plan that, right? We are the first generation of these people.
Right, because a lot of those first generation guys went on to work at the record labels, became big record promoters or executives. They left the DJing, completely left it behind. And when you talk with them, they say, oh, yeah, I used to play. And I go, yeah, I remember the name. I know you played. It's kind of funny. They always tell you that. But in our world, we still, you know, you record shop owner, you know, you did this, you did that, play on the radio, make promotions.
Anything for music, anything. I was a DJ. I'm a DJ. I had a record store. I was a radio DJ. I produced records. I produced remixes. Man, I'm in the music. I'm a man of the music. That's what I am, you know.
Music man.
And I'm always being, yeah.
Music man, music man.
Music
Meme,
man,
thank you.
that's it.
Meme, is there any, I think we covered what I would say soup to nuts, including dessert with strawberries.
Exactly.
Meme,
and cream.
Don't move it. I just want to say a couple of last things and then we'll say